Oh, very good. That's very good, Nick.
Hopefully you can hear us now. Yeah, you can hear us now.
Excellent. Excellent. Hello, everyone.
It's the same every week. Just basic
One
amateur.
day we'll nail it.
Amateur night.
It's going to be spectacular.
Tell you what, it's slightly annoying is I can't get your ears in and avoid the microphone up top there.
Oh, mate, that's great. That's great work. That's dedication.
Yeah, that's what you need if you want to be the best. And you want to hear the rest. Dedication's what you need. Roy Castle, anyone remember him? Dear old Roy Castle. Record breakers. How are we then, everybody? Everyone doing okay?
It was good. It's all happening.
Yeah, I'm going to bend your other ear forward a bit there, Dan, just to make it even more camp than it already is.
You're going to bend me forward?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Now, come on. I put family friendly on this. Good. Right.
Cool.
We're in the game, are we?
We are in the game. It's all happening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear us okay? Can I get the live stream up? We've gone off.
No, we haven't.
I just had to hit reconnect.
Oh, okay. Oh, buffering. Yes, buffering. Here we go. It's all buffering.
I think thanks to jolly old COVID-19, everyone is on the internet, aren't they?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because my stuff here is... here we go. Back on. Reconnected.
Yeah. Michelle Taylor. Hi, brother Mick. Hi, sis. Michelle Taylor.
Oh, my goodness.
Commented on a video once, and I said, "Are you my sister?" Ages ago. Hayden Mowbray. Hi, Hayden. How are you? Tom Hand. Hello, Tom. Dan Pfeiffer. Hello, Dan. Steve Richardson. Dan Peacock. Thomas Jones. William Woods. BV. Thank you for moderating today, BV. Matt Church. Hello. DJ Ashley. Rob Brewer. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you're no longer spinning.
I'm very excited for a couple of reasons. One, I just watched your vlog, part 2 vlog that's going out tomorrow, which is really awesome. And two, you've got some new effects on my voice that I'm really dying to hear.
I do. I don't know where to begin, Dan. So there is another instalment of the vlog coming tomorrow. Normally, so today's VCQ, we are in unprecedented times, as everyone knows. We don't need to go over that. Normally what we do in these viewer comments and questions sessions, welcome if you are new, and welcome if you are not new. We tend to go through a bunch of questions that have come in over YouTube over the weekend. We're not doing that today. I think we can remember most of the questions. We'd rather just interact with you here in the live comments section, if that's all right with everybody. So let's get going. Dan, sorry, I cut you off there. You were talking about effects. You have
apparently you've got some new soundage on my voice.
I do. Okay, you have to guess what they are.
Okay.
So give me a sentence.
I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my humanage. I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my humanage.
What's that?
You've got a looper on.
It's the Lo-Fi Loop Junkie by Zvex, which is really good. So what I'm going to give you a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to start the sentence. Okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person.
Great.
I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person. I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person. I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person. I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person. I look ridiculous with a base strapped around my person. Oh man!
So
it's solid gold.
You got to guess the other two effects. You got to guess the other two effects.
So there's a pitch shifter on there.
Yep. Currently running preset 212 Country Girls.
Okay.
It's the TC Helicon Voice Live Play.
Oh my word! Awesome.
We're gonna have some fun with this. You've also got the Empress Echo system.
Nice.
And need I even mention this one? Dan? It will
This
never.
is the best day ever.
It will never, ever, ever not be funny.
That's just priceless. Oh man.
The Korg Miku. A shout out to Chappers and the Captain. Where's the horn? For introducing us to the Korg Miku, and indeed beginning this whole genre. Pretty much.
Oh boy.
Right.
Magic.
BV says we've lost slow mode with that restart. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? Catherine's going to have to fix that. Right, Dan. Sam Vimes says you have to say resistance is futile.
Okay.
Okay.
So you got to put.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I need? You tell me what I need.
Okay. So you'll need to put on the pitch shifter.
Yeah. What pitch shifting do you need?
Yeah.
Like a down one?
Down and an up one, but not so much up. And it's almost like a. Just put that on for me for a sec, and we'll try that one.
This one's called close one up and one down. All right.
Okay. We are the Borg.
That's not working. Keep going.
Okay. We are the Borg. You will be assimilated.
Keep going.
All right. We're there yet? How's it going? Is it happening?
This isn't bad.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Ready? We are the Borg. You will be assimilated.
Oh, too good. Yeah, try that. Actually, a shorter delay would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah. There you go. Great.
How's that?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do this before they make the announcement as well. They clear their throats. Here we go. We are the Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. By the way, 7 of 9. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, great fun. Right, should we actually answer some questions? Slow mode is achieved. Thank goodness.
Boy.
Right, Aragon. Hello, Aragon. Odd question. I'm an organist. I have overdrive. I think it's a serious statement. This is Aragon. I have overdrive, reverbs, and standard built-in effects change. I would like to expand my sound, but want pedals that won't freak out on line level signals. Any suggestions? Yeah, that's interesting.
So, organ. So, check this out. My grandparents had one of the first organs in Australia.
Really?
Yeah. My dad, when he was little, they'd put this massive organ on the back of the truck, and he would be driven around to all the churches in the area to play. And yeah, so they've always had these really old Hammonds and stuff. And anyway, it's such an interesting array of sounds already available on the organ with all the drawbars and that sort of stuff. Phasers work particularly well with organs.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they can get some really, really cool sound with phasers. However, if you're looking for a phaser that's going to work at a line level, I would try something like the
guys that make Julia, Walrus Audio,
Yeah.
because it has a mix control in there as well, so you can mix in as much of the phasing as you like, and they will handle a louder signal. I think better than a phase 90 or something. But that being said, though, if you want, because there's a really cool crunchy thing that happens with an organ as well, which can sound cool if it's hitting really hard going into like an old analog, an old phase 90.
Yeah. Don't a lot
else?
of the sort of modern multifunction high-end things have such a wide range of input level that you can run line anyway?
Yeah.
So it might be that if you get something like, I don't know, the Empress Echo system or a Timeline or a Big Sky or something like that, I'm assuming you can run those at damn near line level anyway, can't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's probably the things that won't work so well are the analog stomp boxes. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, if you're slamming them with lots of signal, then they will distort. But sometimes that can sound really cool. It's like there's a sound that you can get with like a clav going into a phaser, that when you hit it, the sort of input buffer stage starts breaking up in the phaser, but it can sound really, really cool. But there's the more modern digital stuff handles line level really well.
Cool. Rufus 1884, thank you, Rufus 1884. This is the voice of the Mysterons. Indeed, it is.
Nice.
We just really upset everyone down, and see if we can go with. I don't know maybe we should come out of pitch shifting and go into. What else have we got here? Pitch correction and robot voices. This will be fun. Here's a cyborg.
Danger, Will
Robinson, danger.
Does that work?
Why, hello. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Mr. Dreadeye has very kindly chucked in $20. Thank you very much, Mr. Dreadeye.
Thank you, Mr. Dreadeye.
That's
legend.
Super kind of you. And who else have we got here? EJ Smith. Love sent from Philly, and love back to Philly, EJ, and love to everyone around the world. It's such a bizarre time at the moment. We hope you're doing okay and you're not going crazy. There's plenty of people out there struggling a bit at the moment. So we hope you're all okay, and this provides just a small amount of respite. How are you doing, Dan?
I've gone back into trying to do workouts at home because I'm really missing not training.
Yeah.
I'm finding that really, really tough. Because I've been doing it so long, I'd forgotten I'd forgotten sort of how important it was to my mental state.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Like, big shout out to all the guys at Gracie Swindon. My coach Lucas is doing daily sessions online and sort of through Zoom room, and we're all getting together and just doing sort of stretching and solo drills and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Which is really great. It's been really helpful. And my PT's put together like a daily thing for me. So that's been really good. That sort of made a difference. But it's going to be great to get back to training properly. But no, it's I'm okay.
Yeah, it's really struck me how, depending on your sort of domestic situation, how this is affecting people in such radically different ways. So I was talking to Neville this morning, Neville Martin from Guitarist Magazine, old friend of mine. He lives in a flat in a city. So he feels everything because everything's on top of him.
Yeah.
Whereas, where me and Katherine are in the middle of nowhere, there are days where you would literally not know that anything is happening. And it kind of, I don't know, there's a small bit of guilt associated with that, where you realise that lots of people are having a really crappy time of it. But we shouldn't dwell on that, because you can watch the news if you want bad news, I guess. Brian Egal says, can you please say happy birthday to Luke Norman? It would make his day. Happy birthday, Luke Norman.
Happy birthday, Luke.
Yeah, nice one.
Can you stick some sound on for me?
Yeah, let's go with...
Go with robot voice again.
No, this is You Make Me a Cobra. I don't know what this is. Go for it.
Happy birthday, Luke. May all your wildest dreams come true.
Oh, it's radio voice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Luke. May all your wildest dreams come true on your birthday today. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Right, moving on.
Thank you, Town Sheriff.
Yeah, thank you to Miguel Texeria sorry, I can't pronounce your name properly, is asking for a ring modulator. We had one of those last week. We don't have one this week. There might be one in the Voice Live there somewhere, but yeah, blimey. Kian Sharrock, and I apologise if I haven't said that right. Hey Mick, have you tried the Throwback 63 Strat pickups? They're exact replicas of vintage 63s. I think it will help in your quest to make Blue sound like a vintage one. I haven't. I do know that everything that Throwback makes is pretty good. I'm in a very happy place with it at the moment. Actually, there's been a development, Dan.
Oh.
Rabia sent me a text going, can you help me with Strat pickups? So what we're going to do is I'm going to send him the 64s out of Blue to listen to. He wants to hear them in his Maple Neck Strat.
So the ones you have in there now, you're going to take out?
Yeah, I'm going to, because I've got some others from Ron that I'm going to try, these 50-60s.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to send them to Rabia. Rabia's going to put them in his 55 Strat custom shop and do a little bit of a report on that for the Strat vlog. So
awesome.
I think that'll be really interesting because his approach to Strats is, totally different from mine. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. So I haven't tried them, Kian, but everything Throwback does is good. So I'm sure they are, as you say, really, really exceptional.
Yeah.
Where are we? Drutgat2 says very much enjoying these live streams. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice to hang out, Dan, isn't it? Even if it is virtually.
Definitely. I mean, I think it's been, I think not hanging around you and Katherine and Simon and Fraser, because we had spent so much time together, and that's been tough. But these little catch-ups are great.
Yeah.
And I've reached out to some friends in Australia and some older friends that I have, just make sure they're okay. And it's important to do that stuff, and I think it makes a real difference to people if you take the time to reach out.
It's funny, isn't it? The phone has gone from people who don't normally phone me a bit recently, and it's good. It's good. Maybe we'll be reminded of how important it is to stay in touch with people, even though any of my friends watching this will know that I'm completely rubbish at it. But it isn't it? You're always going somewhere or doing something or cooking or sleeping or I do know about you, that having 10 minutes to do anything like that is rare, but I think making those 10 minutes is probably really important.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Peter Jessup. Hi, Peter. Peter says, it's my daughter's birthday today. Any chance of a shout out? Her name is Charlotte. Absolutely. Happy birthday, Charlotte Jessup.
Happy birthday, Charlotte. Can we have a different voice for Charlotte?
Yeah, let's it's, to be honest, mate, it's a bit of a let's go for a different presets that take your vocal sounds over the top. Let's try that. This is called Bunch of Bass, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Charlotte. Yeah. Happy birthday. Coming to you. Yeah.
That's nice. That's really nice. And just one more, Dan.
Oh boy,
That was good. I enjoyed that one.
like that one?
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
a bit of Miku at the end there.
Nice.
Right, Brian Nugent. Hi, Brian. I have a Boss Katana Mark 1 and a Strat. I'm looking for 5 to 6 relatively affordable pedals to add to the sound. Any suggestions? Wow, that's a big question. I would start with less than that and pick from the main food groups. So you've got overdrive, distortion and fuzz. You know, we could call those one group. You've got filter stuff like wah-wahs, auto filters. You've got modulation, which would include things like phaser, flanger, chorus, vibrato, and we'll lump tremolo in there as well, even though, anyway. And then, of course, you've got delay and reverb. So I would pick maybe a drive pedal, a very different flavour of drive than that's available from the Katana itself. So maybe try a fuzz. Then pick some kind of modulation, whatever you think you might like the sound of modulation-wise. So if you've got a favourite track that's got a phaser on it or whatever, or you like Eddie Van Halen, then look at a phaser or a flanger, and then go for a delay. I think a delay's a top shout, isn't it, Dan?
Very much so. Very much so.
What would your suggestions be?
If you've got a Strat and a Katana, I think something like a blues driver is always a really good shout. Get your gain stages so you're happy with them. I would sooner spend the time to get 2 or 3 pedals absolutely nailed than try and rush out and get 5 or 6 pedals. And not to say that you can still get really good affordable pedals, but I would get your gain stages sorted out then, and then delay. You can do so much with delay, and then let's think about the music that you want to play and the music that you really like, and what are there specific effects in there that when you hear it, it sort of sparks you. Like for me, hearing the modulation on Andy Summers thing, so I know that flange is a thing that I really like. Just have a think about the music and the specific parts of the tones that you really like. It might be that you like really heavy music and you try and get that sort of a sound out of the Katana. So you might need to spend a bit more time looking at those specific gain stages.
Yep.
Buy a tape delay and a high watt.
What's the one pedal, Dan, that just would give you the most inspiration straight out of the gate?
Into a Katana.
Well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Ooh.
Be delay for me.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. Isn't it funny? Because the great thing about delay, because you can see how nerdy we can get with delay, especially after last week's show. But just changing one aspect of that, of the way that delay does its thing, changes the entire character, changes its voice. It says something different.
It demands that you play differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's huge.
Okay, Jorgen Severin Einarsson. And again, really sorry if that's not pronounced properly. Thank you very much from Norway.
Oh, thank you.
Just want to say thank you for being awesome. Also, my wife likes new T-shirts. Any tips for adjusting volume between amps when using OD and fuzz in a wet-dry rig? Yeah, so what you're saying is when you click on the overdrive or the fuzz, one of the amps presumably gets louder than the other because one of the amps has slightly different headroom characteristics. That's a toughie.
Yes.
That is a toughie, which is why Dan and I will usually advise using amps that are similar headroom characteristics. Might be that one breaks up just a bit more and comes sits back and the other one comes to the fore a bit more. That's definitely how it works when I use the 2-rock, because the 2-rock, even when it's set to overdriving, has just this unbelievable lungs left. Even when you hit it with anything. And I actually quite like the fact that then barks forward and takes over the mix a little bit. And so I guess it's just, for me anyway, it's just balancing it up to a point where it works for what you want it to do, which is a very non-specific answer.
Sure. And another way to do it is to actually, I've always got a pedal on. I've always got a gain stage on in my rig. And if one of my amplifiers didn't have that sort of, if it was struggling, I'd actually turn my unity volume down a bit on my main pedal. It might be a King of Tone or the Page or something.
Yeah.
And use that as okay, I'm setting my unity level lower than my bypass level to give the amps a bit of a chance to catch up. And also, interestingly, that works really well with fuzzers because let's say that your main on pedal isn't a fuzz. Because the fuzz compresses limits so much, setting your normal unity sound below where the amps sit at gives the fuzz a chance to sort of punch its weight, if that makes sense.
I think so. What was that you were saying?
If you set your main on pedal below unity,
that's good.
You like that?
Yeah. You could try a delay pedal as well.
Gives the fuzz a chance to, because I found with my duo fuzz, it sounds amazing, but as soon as because it's so compressed, it's really hard to make that work in a mix.
Yeah.
So to use it live, I've got to turn everything else down.
Right. Okay. Continuing on that theme then, Nick Larson says, hi Nick, and thanks for that. He says, I have a Trainer YBA1 JTM 45 stroke bassman type
Wonderful amplifier.
It's crunchy, and I drive it with a full drive 2. Suggestions for a boost pedal for soaring leads. What about a Beano boost?
Beano boost is a great shout.
Depends where you're going to use it, because if you're going to use it before your full drive or after your full drive would affect the choice for me. So you're thinking before, are you, Dan?
If you're using if you're driving it with a full drive 2, so you've got. So let's think about the settings on the full drive 2. You've got comp cut. You've got vintage and modern. And I'm assuming if you're driving it, then you're the most open sound on the full drive 2 to drive into the Trainer. Yeah, I think putting a treble booster before that would be absolutely killer. Actually, I used to do that. A really interesting thing, I had my full drive 2 going into my old AC10 Twin and the AC30 at the same time. And I'd have the treble booster on before the full drive, and that was my clean tone, because I dialed the guitar back a little bit, and man, I just had the most insane clean tone with that. Also, but I had a compressor on as well.
Okay.
Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful. That will work really well.
You're saying Beano boost before the full drive will work?
Yes, definitely.
I'm saying Klon after the full drive.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be great as well.
So any Klon clone. So we have a number of favourites. This is one of them. Is the other one here, or have I taken it home? I've taken it home. These are among our favourite Klon clones. The Ryra clone. I've got a
Ryra on the board that I put together for the studio, which I'm doing a little vlog on, but it's exactly the same as that with different graphics. So cool.
J Rocket Archer.
Very nice.
And the Mythos Mjolnir. There are lots. Wampler Tumnus.
Yep.
There's lots.
Tumnus is a good shout.
But what the great thing about a Klon type is that it will cut base. In fact, the Tumnus doesn't, so you'd need the Tumnus Deluxe. But it cuts base and adds kind of, I don't know, I always think between 3 and 4K, they're really kind of grabbing frequency. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very nice. Will Schaefer says, love the show. You folks have helped me through some difficult times. That's great to know, Will. You're so welcome. What's your favourite light overdrive with a Tele bridge pickup into a Princeton? Interesting.
I'm looking for it. I know it's here, but I can't see it. My eyes cannot see it.
The Greer?
Yeah, Lightspeed.
Yeah, Greer Lightspeed.
Greer Lightspeed, totally awesome.
Incredible.
Hudson Broadcast.
Yeah, but Hudson Broadcast, I wouldn't put that down as a light overdrive. Hudson Broadcast is a boost, sort of hard clipping transistor machine.
Does everything though? Does
it does? No, it does. But I would.
Yeah.
I think the Lightspeed is a safer shout.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
It really is.
It's a good thing. Again, Mythos. Even something like this, Golden Fleece, can get quite fuzzy, but just one knob, super simple.
Yeah.
Amazing. So many great overdrives out there. It's a blooming minefield. Ty Roberts. Hello, Ty. Ty says, Mick, what was that Dumble-esque pedal you loved? Are they available in the USA? If you mean just recently, it was the Cornerstone Effects Gladio. You can see it in my vlog tomorrow. I use it quite a bit.
It's so good. It's such a good one.
The pedal.
Yeah.
It's
and that's the V1. It's got a different setup than V2, isn't it?
Yeah, they are slightly different.
Yeah.
Dan and I both prefer the V1, but they're both available. Are they available in the US? I believe so. I don't quite know through what means, but check them out. Cornerstone Effects. They're based in Italy. And yeah, just exceptional sounding thing. I really, really like it. Yeah. Can get very aggressive. Can be smooth. Daniel in Icon. Thanks. You guys are fantastic. Keep it up. Stay healthy. Greetings from Switzerland. Thank you, Daniel. That's very kind of you.
Chris Saintmeyer. Thank you, Chris. He says, I'd love to see a show on the DoD 250 pedal. There are different versions made by DoD and other pedal manufacturers. Yeah, it's so funny. I was listening to some DoD, some 250 last night, and it's such a great sound. So, yeah, I think that's a really good shout.
What is it? A transistor overdrive? Or is it an op-amp?
Like a hard clipper.
Is it?
Thing. Just really, but it's a really, really cool sounding thing. So it's got a really great voice. The mids in it is just killer. Sort of, the MXR Distortion Plus type thing. Sort of all in that vein. But yeah, DoD 250, very, very cool.
Tom Arild Hamray, thank you, Tom. Should I pull the trigger on a Partsacaster with Relic custom shop body, American Standard neck, and Lindy Fralin Woodstock 69s? Have you tested those pickups? Lindy Fralin pickups are every set I've ever heard I've liked. But we can't really answer that question. You it's hard, it could be fantastic. It could suck. And two different people on the same day might have opposing opinions. It's really hard to say, but sounds cool.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. Sounds like a cool thing. There was a question I saw back up here, which I thought was quite interesting, from Ross Mack. Hello, Ross. At the cross-section of your mini videos and ethics episode, what are your thoughts on MXR's Timmy? I would have thought they've done a deal with Paul Cochrane.
Yeah, it would be done in collaboration with Paul, I think.
Yeah, so he'll be getting one would assume he'll be getting a licensing fee for the name, and it enables him to, earn a bit of cash out of a vastly more efficient and far-reaching production facility. So, I kind of like tie-ups like that. I think it makes a lot of sense, and presumably he's totally on board with it, and everything is good. Unless that is not the case, in which no doubt you will let us know. But yeah, blimey,
Yeah,
Riley.
no, I think George Trips, who is in charge of things over there at MXR, he's a great guy, and he knows everyone, and there's no way that he'd release the Timmy version without it being fully
Sanctioned,
endorsed by Paul Cochran. Yeah. Oh my goodness, DJ Ashley.
Amazingly generous. Thank you, DJ.
That's incredible. Thank you very much.
When I'm on my Gibsons, I sound like a bad Slash. On my Fenders, I hit more flat fives than a drunk SRV. On my Gretchen Charvel, I sound more myself and original, but they're limited. Any advice? My Les Pauls are angry and I want to go more oddball.
Ooh.
Reverend, he says.
Novo. What's that Novo guitar?
Yeah. What a great shout. So Dennis Fano, who used to be, or Fano, or Fano, however you say it, his guitar company is now called Novo. And we played one of Zack Mythos's, didn't we? It was a
unbelievable
fab thing.
Oh, the neck was just perfect. Those pickups were just so good. That would, if I was after another humbucker guitar, that would be it. Yeah.
And if you don't want to spend that much cash, I'd say Reverend is a pretty good shout. They're certainly different enough. And then there's all those other brands that are sort of a bit funky, like Supro.
Supro's great.
What's the other one I'm trying to think of? Airline. Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
Eastwood's well worth a look, actually. They do some really cool stuff. Duesenberg,
very good.
Definitely check out Duesenberg. Really, really cool guitars. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. A lot of cool stuff. Let us know how you get on. Right. And Tony Lemur is asking about the MXR Timmy 2. We need to get one. We need to have a listen to it.
Sure. Someone,
yes.
I think Yuppie said, didn't Paul design it? I mean, yes, he did design the Timmy, and I'm sure that he would have had a hand in this.
Without, it's unimaginable that's not the case, but
yeah.
B.Ras says, bit of a difficult question. I've been thinking about getting an electric guitar, but having only played acoustic for the last 8 years, I've no clue about electrics. Do you have any recommendations? You've got two options, in my opinion. You can either go the full hog and get something like the original solid body electric guitar, which always seems to work well for acoustic players.
Yes.
The Fender Telecaster, which come in a variety of colours and price points. Or, if you want to stay in more familiar land and get something that's electric, but also a bit acoustic, Epiphone Casino.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
I think you could have a lot of fun on one of these. 800 people are going to cringe while I tune this guitar. That's enough of that. What would you say, Dan?
I think the Telecaster is a really good shout, but it depends on what if you're now going to electric for the first time. I mean, look, getting a really nice maple neck Telecaster and like a little deluxe, a little Princeton reverb, it's such a wonderful experience. And and because it's so simple, the learning curve is it's not as steep as it might be. It's such a simple, honest guitar. I think it's a great, if you can go into well, obviously at the moment it's tricky, but when you can walk into a music store, and it's the sort of thing that, most guitar stores will have a Princeton or Deluxe Reverb variation. And the Telecaster, it's quite an easy thing to try out and see if you connect with it. But I do love that Casino Shout. That it's such a great guitar, and those dog ear P90s just work so well. Actually, when we went to
Analog Man.
Sorry,
Analog Man.
No, when we were at when we went to not Chippenham. What was it?
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham. What's the name of the store?
ATB Guitars.
ATB Guitars in Cheltenham. And that old casino, was it a casino that he had?
Yes.
It was the casino.
66 or 67, wasn't it?
That guitar played itself.
Yeah.
It's just extraordinary.
I love phrases like that.
You picked it up and it was immediately comfortable and effortless.
Dan, I want you to say that guitar played itself on 3, all right?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
That guitar played itself.
That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself. That guitar played itself.
Is anyone getting mad out there? I think you could use
from
that.
This?
If you work in a music store, you can use that. Yeah.
Well, oh boy, I might need a beer.
Yes, indeed. Eric Williamson. Hello, Eric. Eric asks, can you put a pedal that uses less than the amount specified on the power supply into that plug? For example, putting a 9 volt 100 milliamp pedal into a 9 volt 100 milliamps into a 9 volt 200 milliamps port. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as current is concerned, the pedal will only take what it needs.
Yeah.
So you can't plug a pedal that needs 9 volts into an 18 volt outlet. You know what I mean? Voltage is different. Current, you're fine.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing with voltage.
Zack Mythos. Randy is laughing. Hi, Randy. He's laughing that we call him Zack Mythos when his name is actually Zack.
Zachy von Zack. Zachy Zackface.
No, I've always called him Zack Mythos. I do know his surname, but it's not coming to mind at this moment. It's a word that means something else. Yeah. James Harrell says Kauer guitars, Kauer, Kauer guitars. They look so cool on Instagram when I see their posts on Instagram. Emil Ong. Hello, Emil Ong. How do you two balance levels between each other's guitars into the same board? I know you said you only buy guitars that match levels for yourselves, but what about one another? So if we're filming a show and I'm using my Strat, which is pretty weak, and Dan's using Red, which is a unbelievably pokey guitar, how do we balance the levels?
This is a show that I really, really want to do about Strats
There's so much
because
dust on the screen.
sorry.
Nothing. Carry on. About Strats.
Okay. Because there is that well, I don't know if it's a misconception, but yeah, when Red's there doing its thing and he's all strident and proud and stuff, and then Blue gets plugged in, and if we're just playing a clean sound with it completely open, lots of headroom, then it can, it's played like that. It can feel a bit wiry and slim.
It does sound thin, doesn't it?
But when things get turned up and there's some love in the room, that goes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and I really, really want to do a show where you take us through that.
I don't know how to explain it. So to answer the question directly, yeah, sometimes I will play Blue after I've been hearing Red for 10 minutes and go, oh, God. And I'll pick up something with humbuckers or something that's just got a bit more guts for low volume, because the Strat sounds quite small compared to Dan's telly. What happens afterwards, just to expand what Dan was talking about, is really interesting. So when you start to play loud, when I start to play loud, I find that powerful guitars cave in and get lost really quickly.
Right, yeah.
So Les Pauls, anything with humbuckers, because of the kind of sounds I use, all the dynamics go, because it's almost like, yeah, I'm loud, and now I'm nothing because I'm hitting 4 overdrive pedals and a guitar, and it just gets squashed to nothing. Whereas the Strat just keeps going, and it doesn't matter what you do, that there comes a point where everything is cooking. You step on that clon, and that Strat is the biggest sounding guitar you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And if you want proof, listen to Jimi Hendrix, listen to Philip Sayce, listen to all the people who really, really do it well. And Strats just become this unbelievable sledgehammer in that environment, where at lower volumes they can sound weak and thin, and for all the reasons that people think they're weak and thin, but there's just something about the headroom of it at volume where it just becomes this Mjolnir, to use a term we used previously. And that's what I love about Strats. They just become so heavy when they're loud. But yeah, here in the room, sometimes I do have a bit of a long face when I plug Blue in after Red, because it's just, at low volume, it does sound weak.
Yeah, but not for long.
No, maybe not.
So yeah, I think it turn things up, and things tend to take care of themselves. But then if you've got a guitar like your Gretsch, which has really, really low output pickups on it, then having a way to boost that can be helpful.
Yeah.
But it is tricky. So, for example, I spent 4 years looking for the right Les Paul. And I mean, and when I say 4 years, I let all my friends know that I was looking for one, and I'd try them, if I ever saw the Les Paul that I liked the look of, I'd try it out. And the prerequisite was it had to sit next to my Telecaster. To be, it had to have clarity and not overpowering. And Paul Stacey, told him that I was looking for a Les Paul, and he was going to clear out. He was having a clear out, and that's where I found that Lester. And the thing that it had about it was it had clarity and stuff, but it would sit next to my Telecaster without being overpowering. It has these beautiful OX4 pickups in it, made by Mark in Oxford, and they are, in that guitar, they work spectacularly well. I love it.
You can just listen.
You can hear that? Hear that? Sustain?
I'm not hearing anything, but you would if it were playing. What a spectacular guitar that is.
It's beautiful. I'm so pleased with it. Now, I have no desire to own an original burst, because I'm not, I play Telecasters mainly, but for the moments that I want to have Les Paul, that guitar is just perfect for me. So yeah, I love it.
How did we get onto that? Oh yeah, balancing levels.
Asking how to balance our guitars, because it's a tricky thing to do. It is a really tricky thing to do.
I think also volume is everything, because you tend, when you certainly at lower volumes, you tend to have loads of bass in the sound, and for me that's where the guitars differ the most.
Sure.
So the Les Paul is and the 335 is going to deliver you more low end, whereas maybe live you've cut quite a lot of that bass, so it doesn't quite have the same effect. And the guitars, lest we forget that the guitars actually do sound like themselves, and it's really important that they continue to sound like themselves.
Yes.
So it might be that you play to the strength of the volume gain or the volume drop, and that's kind of how you use them, or a different combination of overdrive pedals. Like one. You've got 4 overdrive pedals on your board, you might find that you're using one predominantly. Like I always use my lower, with my more powerful guitars, surprise, surprise, I use the lower gain pedals.
Yeah.
And with the Strat, I can push the gain a bit more because it's got the headroom to take it.
Yes, yeah.
And it stays articulate.
I want to get into this. I think it's a really important video. And I've never heard a better demonstration than sat in the room when you with that old Strat. I think it's really important. So, let's do that when we get back in.
We could try it.
Yeah.
Right. Soren Ledet from Denmark. Thank you, Soren. Says, damn, you just made me spend $2,000 at Full Tone. Love your show and stay safe. Sorry about that. We're assuming you've bought a Tube Tape Echo or something similar, or an SSTE. Good for you. Awesome. Aaron Singh, evening chaps. Thank you, Aaron. That's incredibly generous of you. I'm just about to go down the rabbit hole of recording at home and just ordered a UA Apollo Twin. Being a complete novice in this area, I just wondered what approach is the best to set this up and what you found to work best. Keep safe and well.
So interestingly, this week, Universal Audio launched their Lunar software, and Mick has downloaded it, and you used it. So how and the reason I bring that up is because I think if you've got an Apollo Twin, and you're new to DAW, then I think it's a great way to start.
Yeah, I would say Lunar is a no-brainer if you're in the UA world, unless you've been using Pro Tools for 10 years and you can't imagine getting away from it, or Logic or Reaper or whatever else is you use.
Yeah.
But if you're not particularly bound to a DAW, which I'm not, then Lunar makes a tremendous amount of sense. Why wouldn't you use something that is really deeply integrated? And
yeah.
The vlog that will go out tomorrow is me recording at home, and it's basically a UA advert. I'm waxing lyrical about how much I love UA stuff. So you're asking someone who's deep in the UA world. But all I would say about that is congrats on the Apollo Twin. It is a stunning bit of stuff. Yeah. Yes, plugins are expensive, and they can get a bit expensive in the back end of Lunar as well, because you need to buy certain things. So it can be pricey, but my goodness me, the sounds that come out of that thing. Anyway, what's the best setup? Well, your Apollo Twin, annoyingly, will not come with a Thunderbolt 3 cable, assuming you're using it with a Mac. Or whatever you're using it with. So you're going to need a cable to connect it to the Mac. It's then got 2 outputs on it, which you can send to monitor speakers if you want to do that, or you can just use headphones. And that is about as difficult as it gets. You've got on the Twin, you've got 2 XLR jack combi inputs plus a high impedance guitar input on the front, and it knows which one if you plug it into the front, it knows it's high impedance, treats it as such. And then you use the console app, which you download as part of the software, and you just plug stuff in the back and get going and send that. In the DAW, you tell track 1 to look at input 1 or track 5 to look at input 1. Just set up your matrix. It's very straightforward, and get recording. Am I oversimplifying it, Dan?
No. And to be honest, I'm using Logic, and it's great, but as soon as I can download Lunar, get some time together to go over it. I'm seriously considering doing the rest of the vlog with that. And I'll tell you why. It's because I use Console at the moment, and I love using Console. So Console is the little input strips, basically virtual input strips that come with the Apollo, and the things that you can set up there, and like I use a little Neve input strip as a main plugin, and it's great. It's really good, and so tell me if I'm wrong, but Lunar is like a whole recording studio, like Console, right?
Yeah, it integrates Console with the DAW.
Right.
So you look at your track list there, and you can. I mean, it doesn't work any differently from any other DAW in that respect. You just assign the plugins as you want them, but it's more deeply integrated apparently with the way that the efficiency of the computing. Neither me nor he are experts on this, by the way. So
no,
but
not at all.
I was using Logic, and I've been using Logic for 10 years. I transferred my project into Lunar, and I was up, tracking, and away, and happy within about 25 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Andy Boyd. Thank you very much, Andy. Have a beer on me. I will do. Thank you, Andy. But your kind donation will go towards keeping the show on the air. I will simply grab a prepaid beer out of my fridge. But thank you.
Matt Presley, thanks, Matt. He's working from home in the USA, watching the show. Looking forward to it every week. Stay safe. And you, mate. Hope you're doing okay. It's a funny old time. Funny old time.
Sam Johnson, he says his question is twofold. Any honks for John Prine? And two, I always see those beautiful chaseless pedals to Nick's left, his right. Do we use them? So I can't honk John Prine. Nick, can you?
I can't, sadly. I was listening to him, though, last week for obvious reasons. John Prine, for anyone who doesn't know, much loved American singer-songwriter who had some massive hits over the years and wrote for lots of people and with lots of people. My favourite John Prine song, I think it's with a lady called Iris Dement, and it's called In Spite of Ourselves. And it's just it's a tongue-in-cheek track, and it will just make you laugh if you listen to it. John Prine, I think it's Iris Dement, I think is her name, and I think the track is called In Spite of Ourselves, and that is certainly the main turnaround line in it. So if it's not called that, that's the main turnaround line. But yeah, I sadly never met him. What a dude he was. Yeah.
And Sam was also asking about the chaseless pedals. I'm actually using one right now, the Dark World Reverb. I think, I love this thing. It sounds great. I think Joel has created something truly unique, and his stuff is awesome.
He's one of those companies, isn't he, that doesn't matter what it is, it always sounds good.
Yeah, and it always has a different spin on it.
Yeah.
There's a unique, like his, so for example, his flanger pedal, which it was a bit out there for me, but boy, oh boy, there's some really, really cool things on it. But even the Condor, like that, it's an EQ pedal, but the things that you can do with it are just awesome. Like get tremolo sounds out of it, like harmonic tremolo sounds.
Is the flanger the Spectre?
The Spectre is the flanger, yes.
Yeah.
So he is such an immensely creative and passionate guy, and his whole reason d'etre, his whole philosophy to why he's doing it is for expression, for creativity. He loves messing with sounds and just seeing, he is the what if guy.
Yeah.
And, and I think the world of him, and, his stuff is fantastic.
It is.
Look at that. I mean, that is,
that's why I don't use any Chase Bliss stuff.
Right.
It does sound utterly amazing, but I fear options. I just...
You need more cowbell.
Yeah. Yeah. On the subject of, you were talking about harmonic trem, Martin Herald, probably Herald, it's probably a silent J, might be a silent H. He might just be called. You got a visitor there? Oh no, it's a finger. Does harmonic trem only work its magic in wet dry? No. Harmonic trem sounds great
not at all.
the time. It's especially good in wet dry because you get a weird phasey thing going on. And
Yeah,
there's
but
like-
everything's especially good in wet dry.
Yes,
Let's be honest.
it is. But yeah, thank you for that, Martin. Sam Harmon, thank you, Sam. That's very kind of you.
And thank you, Matt Presley. Working from home, the USA, watching the show. Look forward to it every week. Stay safe. Thanks, Matt. And you too, mate. Appreciate that.
Perilous Temple says to Aaron Singh, who was asking about the Apollo twin, just watch your levels going into the Apollo. On the side of low. It's always better to keep the track levels low. You're going to have so much fun. I think that's good advice generally for digital recording.
Yeah, and I've fallen foul of this.
Used to be on, any really good analog device, you can hit it hard at the input, and the colour and the harmonic structure you get from pushing an analog thing is always lovely. One of the many reasons me and Dan love analog pedals for guitar. Digital recording, depending what you're using on the front end, Perilous Temple is absolutely right. Don't worry if your recording level is lower than you think it should be. If you're not hitting -3 the whole time, don't worry about that at all. You can run it lower and gain it up using something else. What I would say is the UA devices have something called unison preamps, which reconfigures the front end with the correct impedances and stuff. So you can
clever.
You can run a Neve 1073, for example, preamp emulation on the front end, or you can add it afterwards. Try both. It's a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Every guitar you hear recorded at TPS uses the Neve 1073 preamp.
Awesome. Magnus Gold Branson. Thank you, Magnus. That's very kind. He says, is binging TPS during the COVID-19, which has resulted in the new Mad Professor Supreme Overdrive, Matt Schofield version.
We've got one in the...
Jam Pedals Waterfall, and a Voodoo Lab Proctavia on his board. Whoops.
Oh, nice.
The Voodoo Lab Proctavia is awesome, and also their Vibe pedal as well.
Yeah.
I loved.
Everything.
But the Proctavia, man, is killer.
Yeah, we should get one. We've got a Matt Schofield Supreme out in the thing there.
Do we?
In the cupboard, yeah.
Oh, man.
Harry left us one when they came. We should totally get it out. Yeah.
And his funky trousers.
Right, Rigfish. I'm resubmitting this question. Sorry we missed you first time, Rigfish. We've got 800 people on, so it's quite hard to see everybody. But Rigfish says, I'm currently trapped underneath something heavy and need this answer to be released from captivity. What is a good complementary delay pedal to a Way Huge Aquapus?
Ooh, okay. So the Way Huge Aquapus being so maybe something that complements its analog nature. Now, you can go one of two ways, I would say. Well, actually, no. There are three ways you can go. So if you think of the Aquapus, the repeats are very warm. So I would say quite dark, actually. But it has a wonderful texture, so if you could go with a cleaner digital delay, you could go with a multi-head drum type delay, or even a tape delay thing. So, for example, the Way Huge Aquapus, you could actually get one thing I think would sound really great with that is the MXR Echoplex.
Yeah, the Dunlop Echoplex.
The pedal, I think, would sound awesome. Now, again, it's a tape style delay, but you can make that as bright as you like.
Yeah.
And I think the modulation on that would work really, really well with the Aquapus. Or a drum delay, something like the Adorna Prince Echo Rex style thing, or the Catlin Bread, I think would work great.
Yeah. Yeah, I concur with Dan. Something contrasting. So the Aquapus is a really great analog delay. So you could go for a drum style delay, such as the Lunar, or the. Actually, Dan, can you give me some music? Come on, go for it. That was good. That was octave flange on the TC Helicon Voice Live Play and the Empress Echo system there doing the goods.
Awesome.
Yeah, something contrasting. I put up the Boss DD200 at the end there because that is
It's
just
a really good shout. Really
brilliant all-rounder that does a bit of everything that would give you a flavour of what you might like.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know if you like drum delay till you've really had a mess about with one, for example.
Yeah, I love what you do with drum delay. I think it sounds wonderful. I found it hard to work with what I do, but I think the sounds that you conjure out of a drum delay when you use it with the other stuff that you do is just awesome.
Yeah, it's more like I use it more like a short repeat, almost like a reverb.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's so cool.
Seems to work well. Gary Mosley, hi Gary, thank you for that. Evening chaps, always a pleasure. Likewise, thanks for being with us. Mick, the Mesa California Tweed, discuss. I played one and was genuinely impressed, even with the power scaling. Yeah, me too, actually. It's a very different voice for what I know of Mesa Boogie. I've been a Boogie fan for all of my life, since about 16 when I got my first one. Mark 3s, Mark 4s, rectifiers, tremor verb, Lone Stars.
Tremor verb, what a great amp.
Blue Angel.
Blue Angel.
So quite familiar with the Mesa sound and their amps over the years. And at California Tweed is really nice. It's got a very different mid-range and a very different gain character. I've got it at home at the moment. It's in the vlog tomorrow. And as I say in the vlog, I can't really comment on the sound because I have to play so quietly at home. But like you say, I did some recording using one of the step down power settings, like maybe 10 watts or something. And was really impressed. Really, really impressed with it. Can't wait to get it back here and crank it up because it's using that different speaker as well, like a Jensen speaker or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That clean tone bit that you did, it sounds absolutely extraordinary.
I was pleased with that.
Yeah. It's really, really great.
That's the old Strat, Strymon Volante, 2 Rock and the Boogie. It really ought to sound good.
Magic. Yeah, that's true. Max Pettit says, thoughts on small Tweed amps like a Fender Champ?
I don't know much about Tweed Champs. I know that a well-sorted deluxe 5E3 is one of the best guitar sounds I've ever heard in my whole life. But much below that, I don't know about Tweed Champs. I know the sound of the Silverface Champ pretty well. Tweed ones, not so much. You?
When I used to rehearse at Dave Gregory's house, just when we were going over guitar parts, he had a little Tweed Champ that was a gift to him from Lyle Workman.
Oh, wow.
And so I used to play to that. And really, really cool. So if it's the thing where you're playing at home and you just want something that's toneful and very direct sounding, they're really, really cool. What was the amp that Analog Man plugged into the 4x12?
That was a modern Fender Pro Junior.
Right, okay, right.
Yeah.
So not that at all.
Which we really must. It's that lineage, though. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it is that lineage.
Yeah, right.
We must get one. We must get one.
Sure.
Right, we need to catch up on a couple of things. Andon 5150, hi Andon, says, hello from the Dominican Republic. Hello, Dominican Republic. I went there once on holiday. Have you tried any of the Baroni Lab valve preamp pedals? And what about the Voodoo Labs Giggity transistor preamp pedal? I haven't tried any Baroni Lab. Have you, Dan?
No.
Okay,
No, I don't know.
sounds like we need to get on that. Giggity, really liked it. The Giggity reminded me of a bit like the Sonic Maximizer from BBE, or the, what else did we have that was in that? Like the Taurus, this thing. It reminded me of that, just like a, I don't know if it's doing the same thing, but it reminded me of that, just kind of more bright life, air.
Yeah.
All those things. So, yeah.
Cool.
Catching up.
Luke Norman says, Dad, this is on your Lego tape delay. Could you swap the two Wetterboxes EP Boost, Comp, and Mini Vol with a J Rocket Ape? Well, you could. I think that's the idea with the Ape is that concept that you put the simple kill dry one repeat in that loop, and then you've got your feedback and you've got your wet dry level, so that's all there. You've got the preamp built into the Ape, but then you can do things like, put a compressor or put an overdrive or whatever in with that, so you're driving the signal into the delay. I think you can, that's a really good shout. The Ape's a great way to do it.
Yeah. The reason that Dan, if you haven't seen it, by the way, Friday's show, Dan built this crazy deconstructed delay pedal where all the things that happen in a delay pedal we were mimicking with a separate pedal. So the reason for doing it like that was to demonstrate the fact that you could control those things in kind of any direction you want. Those are the decisions that pedal designers make when they're putting that in miniaturized form into a delay pedal, miniaturized. Sorry, Spinal Tap moment. My favourite sounds, says Sunny Soul, are 5 to 6 amps. 5-6 amps? I don't know if that's a brand or a number of amplifiers. My favourite sounds of
number of amps. I like it.
Is there
Plexi JCM 800 Silver Jubilee 5150? Awesome.
Oh, I see. Is there any way I could get close to with pedals into a clean amp instead? Not really.
No,
I mean, kind of yes, but not really. If you like amps cranked, then no pedal really will get you that sound. It's
a great story that John and Gina were saying when they were recording their last album, that they had all those amps set up in a circle and they'd stand in the middle of them and just let rip. And they said it sounded like the world was coming to an end. They said it sounded terrible, but it was such an amazing experience. It was very cool.
Ian, thank you, Ian, says, two questions.
Thank you, Ian.
I bought a shirt a week ago. How delayed is your shipping to the US? It depends. At the moment, usually it takes 4 to 5 days. At the moment, we don't really know because of COVID and all of that, so everything is a bit delayed. In addition to that, sometimes shipments get pulled for customs. So they'll pull a whole thing. I don't know what that thing would look like, but they'll pull a whole thing and take it to bits for customs, and that can hold things up to 3 to 4 weeks. But that's not very rare. Sorry, it's not very common. Much more common for shipping to take 4 to 5 days, sometimes a week. But, with the global pandemic, it's probably a bit slower. So if you don't get it within 28 days, please let us know and we'll do the next thing. Second question, how hard is it to change a jack on a pedal? Should I take it to a pro? I'm going to say yes. Dan says depends on the pedal.
Yeah, precisely. It depends on the pedal, depends on your skills with soldering. I've been thinking about this. I've been getting a few questions lately about soldering. And the cables and things that we use and how hard is it to do and stuff. And I might do a little bit on it. Soldering isn't hard, but to do it well, there are just a few things you need to keep in mind.
It's like plastering. Plastering is not hard, is it? Because you can teach people to do it. And yet, I can't do it. But once you know how, if you went to plastering school for 6 months, I reckon you'd be pretty good at it.
Yeah. Oh man, plastering is hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
But like everything else, it's easy when you know how, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, if you're no good at soldering, and it's a pedal that you like, I would take it to someone who knows what to do. Also, it depends on how the jacks are installed. So, for example, if it's a pedal that has lots of space and you can get to them easy, then it's quite a simple thing to do. However, if it's a pedal that you've got to pull the circuit board out to get to the jacks, you just need to be extra careful. Hope that makes sense.
The jack might be actually on the circuit board as well, or it might use flown leads from the circuit board. So yeah, all of it.
And if it comes to having to remove components from a circuit board, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But if it's a fuzz face, it's really easy.
Yep.
Mark Sieber, hello Mark, thank you for that. You guys are the highlights of my week. Doubled down.
Oh, bless you.
Doubled down since quarantine. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for being with us. And we hope you're doing okay. Same to everybody out there. We hope you're doing okay.
Lassie Finger Vonderfat. This is a question from Mick. What pickups for a Maya-inspired Strat?
Well, they talk about his Big Dipper pickups a lot. I don't know whether John... What's his favourite vintage Strats? The 64, isn't it? Maybe. I don't actually know. See,
Which is the Strat that the Silver Sky is based on?
I thought that was the 64.
Right, okay.
Was his favourite vintage Strat. So what I don't know, and somebody may be able to confirm or deny this, in 64 there was a big change at Fender in the way they made Strat pickups. They went from... Watch me get shot down for this, Dan. Alnico 2 to Alnico 5 magnets.
Okay, so they went like this. They went 1, 2.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
And this may all not have happened at the same time. Because for sure, different things would have been used over the years, almost certainly, because it was about supply, not about... it was about what they could get, right?
Yep.
So I'm not saying it all happened overnight in one hit, but your classic 59 to 64 Strat pickup used heavy Formvar coated wire, black fibre work for the bottoms there, and I think Alnico 2. I think. I don't actually know. In 64, they changed them to Alnico 5 and plain enamel-coated wire, 64, late 64, I think. And those are the pickups I've got in blue. So there's this tone change that happens in Strats 64, and then we get on to, 67, 68, the Woodstock type Strats and the Jimmy sound, which I believe was still the plain enamel wire and Alnico 5. Spankier, brighter, a little bit harder sounding. I don't know if John Mayer likes that. So for me, that's Robert Cray, it's Doyle Bramall, it's Jimmy. Whereas your pre-64 is your SRV, your, the classic pre-CBS sound. And it's quite different. So I don't know what John's preference is. To me, certainly where the Silver Sky is concerned, it's got that extra kind of zip in the top.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds like the later kind of sound. They're not as full sounding, certainly on cleaner sounds, which doesn't fit with, say, something like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room or Gravity. That, to me, that sounds much more like a pre-64 type sounding pickup. So I don't know what the answer is. Actually, I think one of his old Strats is a 62. But for all the talk of Big Dippers, this spec, that spec, the other spec, a great vintage Strat sound is, to me, the John Mayer sound.
Yeah.
Because it's as much about the Dumble and the Klon
Yeah, right.
and the TS10 and the 2-Rock as it is the Strat.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that always I find so interesting about his sound, sorry to harp on about this, but I'm a big John Mayer fan. Everyone talks about the mid-scoop pickups, and then what do? Add a TS10, a Klon, and put it through a Dumble. So you're just adding a ton of mid-range back in there. So, yeah. Was that
That's very good.
too long an answer?
Who are some sort of aftermarket producers of pickups that are like, you know, obviously, you know, the Ron Ellis thing is he's amazing.
Ron Ellis 5060 would be the last word in the John Mayer sound as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But you know, getting them is tough. You got to wait. Kloppmann from Germany makes really seriously good pickups. Mark Foley in the UK, Mark Foley Guitars makes absolutely bob-on, amazing pre-CBS style pickups.
Wow.
Who else? Klein make stupendously good pickups. And then there's, you know, Amalfitano, Lola, Bare Knuckle, you know, all the good boutique makers make great Strat pickups. So it is a bit of a minefield. Plus, they're all going to sound different in different guitars, which is where it really where it gets really difficult.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you've just got to go, like, I narrowed my choices to the things I thought I might like, tried them, and there's more of that to come, by the way. And then you just pick one and you go with it because you can drive yourself nuts.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like I for example, when I got the Les Paul, the OX4s were in it, and I tried a bunch of different pickups in that, and probably 6 or 7 different sets of pickups in it. And I was going crazy. And then put the OX4s back in, it was like, no, that's it. In this guitar,
that works.
These pickups sound great, and I will not touch them now.
Yeah.
Because there's no point. It sounds great. In Red, I did the same thing and went back to the stock bridge pickup that's in it. I destroyed the neck pickup from doing it too much and, you know, being drunk one night thinking if I took the cover off, it'd be great. Idiot. So, you know, I've got the not Joe, what's his name? In the neck pickup of Red, I've got
Don Mayer.
What's his name?
Don Mayer.
Don Mayer. So Don Mayer neck pickup in that one, and the standard one of the bridge. But you do, I think, get into a point where you find some really good sounding pickups in that guitar, and you go, right, that's it, and put a line under it, and then crack on.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's huge.
It's a subject of great contention, isn't it? Because half the internet would have you believe that all the sound is in the pickups.
Yeah, right.
And the other half, well, anyone who knows anything about guitars will tell you that actually it really is about the whole instrument.
Yeah. Mikhail says, guys, do you know any Mesa Revolver actual rotating speaker simulator? All the tremolo Leslie sims don't really do the job. Any ideas? Please help.
Leslie still make rotating speakers.
Right.
Still make them. There's quite a few different ones available. The Mesa one, I've never actually seen one. Is that what he was asking about? A Mesa one?
I can't see a Mesa Revolver.
Yeah, I've never seen one with my own eyes, but I knew it to exist. So, but no doubt if it's made by them, it would be very good. If you can find one.
Yeah, boy. I don't know. I'd have to have a look, but that's so interesting. That's such a specific. It's like the Gilmore uses those Yamaha rotating speakers.
Oh yeah.
And they have such a specific sound. It's so cool, and you know, Leslie's are different. than that Yamaha.
And there's a bunch of different Leslies too, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And they all have their own thing. So if it's that particular thing that you're after, it can be really tricky to try and find that inner pedal.
But you're absolutely right to say that the physical effect of the cabinet rotation, or or the baffle in the cabinet rotating, is a completely different sound than trying to do it in a pedal.
Entirely. I'll never forget that. Thing. That was not the first, but certainly one of our very early on, oh my word moments.
Yeah.
Getting the real Leslie in that room and then listening to all the pedals that we'd have, we were used to, and then hearing the real thing was like, what on earth is going on?
Yeah.
Just the way that it filled the space in the room was just unreal.
Well, it's real, isn't it? It's moving air.
Yeah.
It's analog. Right. Ivan Delgado. Hello, Ivan. Thank you for that. Has one of these massive questions. Should I replace my Squire for a $1,500 guitar? Or replace my Vox AC15 C1? Or should I buy another amp to run them in stereo? Which would improve my tone the most?
Oh, great question.
The last one. Buy another amp and run them in stereo or wet dry, or some version thereof. If you want proof of that, watch some of our wet dry type videos, and that will give you the most. If you've got, assuming you've got a couple of pedals, of course, that will give you the biggest lift in your sound. Definitely, depending on your Squire, the $1,500 guitar might not make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, very interesting.
What do you think, Dan?
Without knowing the guitar, I mean, my daughter's got a Squire Telly, and I mean, it's very different than what I'm used to, but a couple of good pickups in that, and it's absolutely fine. The guitar thing is, it's like, I've found the guitars that I love, and then when I found the vintage one, and I just really connected with it, and I knew I had to find a way to make that work. And so that was cool. But if that wasn't, saying, there's a $1,500 guitar doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that much better than the Squire. However, if you pick that $1,500 guitar up and it makes you just want to play and play and play, that's different.
Yeah. What it drags out of you.
But tonally, getting the thing that amplifies that sound, getting that right is so massive. Getting another amp to go with what you've got, wet dry. It's anyone that we've been in the room with and they've experienced that for the first time has been such a revelation.
Yeah, been a game changer, isn't it?
And ask anyone on here that has started using a wet dry rig. It's so cool.
Right, let's crack through some of these. Steve Richardson, if you didn't see it, Brian Wampler was wearing one of your T-shirts in his Zen video today. Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, shout out to Brian. Love that guy. He's awesome.
Nuclear Dwarf ND says, is there any way to switch back and forth between wet, dry and stereo? There is, but you would need some complex routing system such as G2 to do that.
Yeah.
No easy way that doesn't involve a bunch of switches and stuff.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that's right. Something that enables you to change the position of where the signal split is happening. Mark Sieber says, you guys are the highlight of my week. Doubled down since quarantine. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate that. It's very kind.
Manuel Schmalstieg says, can you do a show on ocelots like tremolo and delay? Hope you're fine. We'll listen to this tomorrow as a podcast. Shout out to the podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Explore guitar to your home recording vlogs. How do you remember settings on all the pedals for the song parts you were recording? I'm finding it hard to come back to a song with certain sounds and pedals. I don't. I don't even look at what the settings are. I set them so that it sounds right, and then record the part and worry about it after.
Yeah. Shout out to John Gallen as well. Thank you, John. That's very kind.
That goes for anything, by the way. You know, whether it's gigs or whatever. I don't know about you, Dan. I don't have settings. I have regions. Like I know I like the clon gain somewhere between there and there.
Yep.
And I'll, you know, by the end of the first song, I'll know where it's going to work.
Yeah, mate. That's why I like pedals, because I'm constantly tweaking.
Yeah. Room to room. I mean, not that there's any gigs going on at the moment, but you know, day to day. So yeah, I'm always fearful of people who have settings. But maybe.
Sure. Grant Thomas says, what's the most reliable delay pedal with presets that you find gentlemen recommend? Reliable. Well, I mean, I used the timeline of my rig since it came out, and that was pretty reliable.
Boss DD200 or DD500.
Yeah, DD500 again. Yeah, Boss stuff is really reliable.
Rock solid. It's the presets thing's really interesting. So I can cope with the 4 presets on the DD200. I can do that.
Right.
But at the minute I have to remember to step on 2 pedals that would otherwise do something else if I don't step on them at the same time, at that point I'm out. And I physically can't remember. If I'm singing and playing the guitar, I cannot as well change presets. I just can't do it. And I end up with like the wrong delay setting. So for me, it doesn't work. And the point of telling you that story is you need an interface that works for you.
Right.
I have never been able to use the Strymon interface. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Whereas to you, it's complete second nature.
Right. Yeah.
Because they don't all do it the same way.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
Oh, Noise Code. So since you mentioned G2, I was reading about Dan Auerbach working on the new Black Keys record and was delighted to see he was using G2 at his Nashville studio. These are not as common in the US. Oh, that's really cool, Noise Code. Thanks for letting me know. I had no idea. That's awesome. Wow.
Aaron Singh again. This is quite a good one. Chaps, you're both from cover bands and you've been extremely successful. Why do you think cover bands are treated with a certain stigma as failed musicians? I'm in a cover band and I hate the stigma. That's a really funny question, because the people I know who earn the most money from playing the guitar, either playing cover bands, tribute bands, or they're playing in someone's band who tells them what to play, which may as well be a cover band.
Yeah, man.
They're not making any original music. The poorest musicians I know, to a man, are all original musicians. Which, sure, it's not all about money. And I suppose if you care about being super cred, the only thing you can ever do is what's in your heart, regardless of the money. But I don't know. Yeah. It's only you that feels the stigma, is the truth of the matter.
Yeah. So the question is, why are you feeling that stigma?
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was there were times when I was playing tunes. It was so much fun, and you know, a lot of the stuff you've got to play can be challenging in the sense that, you know, it gets to a point where it's very much like clocking in. But there are those moments when it is brilliant fun. But that clocking thing is interesting as well, because don't think for a minute that original musicians don't get the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, if they, you know, reading an interview with the guys from Nirvana and saying that, you know, every night they had to go out and play Teen Spirit. He said it was like being in a cover band. So, yeah, I think you play a song long enough, regardless of whether you wrote it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
like you're saying, then there's all the stigma of how good a musician you are. You know, if you go out playing simple music and you're not playing technical guitar, people can feel a stigma with that. Likewise, a lot of people who play technical music can feel a stigma because the people who play the cool music look down on them. And at that point, it really is the only person who is important in that whole discussion is you, because how you perceive it is the problem, not what they think. What they think is not your problem.
Yeah.
Bit of philosophy for you. Well, once you get your head around that, life changes big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even an arrogance. It's just it's not your job to be liked.
Sure.
Is it? It's okay to be disliked. As long as what you do is true, then it's fine. It's fine if people dislike it, I think.
Yeah. Yuppie says guitar playing isn't about money or chicks, it's about hoarding pedals. Yeah, baby.
Really? Blah 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 blah. Where are we? We should think about it, Dan. We've been going for an hour and 40.
Yeah. Cool.
Did you get the question earlier about would you think about selling gig rig stuff in the US? Did I miss that?
No, it's already. We already sell in the US. I mean, we sell direct in the US.
Yeah, gig rig is available in the US.
For us is that we have a specific US website and we sell direct. We have a fulfillment house in the US, so it ships from Delaware and we ship every day in the US. Yeah.
Ian Wilson. Hello, Ian. Could you revisit 12-string guitars at some point and see how well a pedal can reproduce an authentic 12-string sound? I'm going to tell you now, it can't. Every 12-string simulator I've ever heard isn't... It's a bit like the sitar pedal or, if you heard it in a busy mix in a cover band, maybe you'd go, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, there's not really a pedal that sounds like a really great 12-string, is there? It's a bit like a Leslie in a Leslie simulator.
So the chorus is meant to do that. They're meant to... sort of detune and modulate one string. It doesn't sound like a 12-string, but what it does sound like is really, really cool.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Roger McGuinn 7-string Martin?
No.
And all they did on that guitar was they doubled the G string.
Oh, wow, really?
And even though they'd only doubled one string, it gave enough of the sound of a 12-string to make it in that vein, even though there was only
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing. Really, a little bit niche, but
have you seen that trick that Phil X does?
The bouzouki trick.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think. Let me try. So what he does, he'll be in the middle of. He does this in the middle of a song, right? He'll take the top of his string, tune it down to his B. He'll then flip the string up into the nut of the B.
That's a 1965 Telecaster, people, just for the record.
Oh, come on. Oh, it's pinching. And then...
No way!
Yeah, and he'll go... I can't do it. I've ruined everything.
Oh, well, does it keep popping out?
Yeah, I've got to get this nut redone.
I'll give you some...
He'll do solos like...
Keep playing, Dan. I'll give you some delay.
Okay.
And some harmony. Come on. Come on. That's what you come to that pedal show for. It sounds like that. Thanks. Sing me a song. Just sing me a simple melody. Come on. Simple melody. Sing me a simple melody, Dan.
All right. Okay. There is freedom. There is freedom. Try to get it to
Oh, that people.
I have to watch this back because I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's why you should never use a harmonizer pedal. Oh, you had two harmonies there, both of which were wrong.
Steve Richardson pointed out that doesn't sound like Phil X. Yes, Steve. Well noted.
Yeah,
indeed.
Phil X sounds more like this, doesn't he, Dan? I don't know. Maybe it's got old already. Chris Collins guitar. Thanks again, fellas. Thank you, Chris. Blimey. Never miss a show. How do you get a great take when recording? I feel like there's a huge psychological battle. Oh, blimey. What a massive...
Yeah. Red light fever. Man.
Actually, doing this, chumming on YouTube week in, week out, kind of cures you of a lot of red light fever. And I think just repetition, just doing it. One thing I discuss in the vlog tomorrow is I kind of get to the end of hours and hours and hours of getting lost in the tech and all the rest of it. And I realise I haven't actually routined any parts. So one way to get a good take is to know what you're playing. And that might sound like the most obvious thing in the world. But I tell the story tomorrow in the vlog that Paul Stacey told me and you, Dan, when he was playing for Tom Jones and he had a really simple part to play. Yeah. Super simple, kind of thing that anyone could play. And he routined it for 10 hours.
Yeah.
So that when he played it, it was muscle memory and it was just straight from the heart.
Yeah. So to see that, it's Tom Jones live on the Tonight Show. It's Tom, Paul, and Jeremy Stacey. So it's just guitars and drums. So just the three of them. And the song is called Burning Hell. And it is the most extraordinary performance. Worth a look. Valve Power says, is the reverb on the Space Echo actually worth it? Yes, for me, it's essential to that Space Echo sound.
Yeah, it's a unique reverb, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry,
mate. Ivan Delgado says, also, what stacks well with the King of Tone? Anything.
Everything.
Yeah, it's so good.
Everything and anything. Matt Edge Hahn says, Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you, Matt. You'll notice that Dan has these fetching bunny ears here. Hope you're all doing well. We are, thank you. We're very lucky that we are doing well, and we hope you are too. Yeah. One question. Yeah. Did you ever meet Matthew Bellamy from Muse? Seems like you could talk about effects for hours. His rig is quite extraordinary. All best. I've never met Matt Bellamy. Have you met Matt Bellamy?
No, never met him. Would love to. Fascinating guy. Yeah. Really, really cool sound.
Yeah, would be awesome to meet him. Yeah. I presided over many interviews with him when I was doing in magazines, and so, but I never actually got to meet him. So,
sure. Darren Birkin says, "What's your favourite Baroness album? Also, have you played Traynor amps? Stay safe and blessings on you both." Thank you, Darren, and to you. The last album, Something in Gold, that they were touring when they came over here, that was absolutely beautiful. It was Grey and Gold. Anyway, it's the latest one. I thought some really beautiful stuff on that.
Cool. Notice no answer for me there. Not really my thing, even though I love them and think they're amazing, but that kind of music doesn't really square with me.
Pete Melbourne wants to know if we're getting any more Stompio Continuous shirts.
Good question. I guess so. We are the store is still open because Katherine and I process the orders. We live close to where we do the ordering, so it's not dangerous or anything. We are both corona clear, and obviously we're not seeing any other humans, so we're very happy to keep doing that. And the post office is still operational, and online businesses can keep going, so that's fine. However, we are going to run out of stock pretty soon. So, yeah. We will have Stompio Continua mugs, shirts, when the T-shirt printers open up their factories again.
P Design P says, hey guys, you are great, thank you. I have a question. Should I try a Duelist instead of a TS10 and a Centura?
Yes.
Definitely try Duelist.
Duelist is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you talk about dual overdrive pedals, D&M drive, obviously, which Dan and I love for different reasons. The Duelist takes, if you stick the D&M drive in the middle as a kind of all-rounder that does a little bit of everything, if you go left towards, if you make it green, you get into Duelist territory, plus you have that blues breaker element to it as well.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic pedal, really super versatile. If you go the other way, get a bit more ampy, a bit more gritty, a bit more aggression, then you get to the Gladio by Cornerstone. And I like them all equally for depending on where the brain is at that point. Currently loving the Gladio, but yeah, Duelist is... My favourite tube screamer is a Keeley modded 808 that I've got. The non-true bypass one. Nothing quite sounds like this, but the Duelist is as close as I've ever heard.
Right.
Plus, it does everything else, whereas this does one thing and one thing only, albeit gloriously. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Because my blues driver was a Keeley modded blues driver, and that was my big pedal for years.
Yeah.
So good.
Wonderful things. Ethan Sheldon. Hello, Ethan. When the Electro Harmonix Oceans 12 comes out, could you do a comparison on the large multi-reverbs like the Big Sky, RV500, Empress Reverb, and maybe the Moore Ocean Machine? Interested how it compares.
Possibly.
It's really hard, that, isn't it?
It is tricky. It is tricky.
Because I once you get into... Here's a bit of an opinion, Dan, and you can agree or disagree. Once you get into Big Sky, Empress Reverb, RV500, I'm trying to think what the other big ones are, but those sort of £300 to £400 or dollar multifunction reverbs that are all DSP based.
Yeah.
They all sound unbelievably good.
Yeah.
So then it's about user interface.
Yes.
Unless there's one particular kind of reverb that you need that the other one doesn't have, which you will already know because you'll know if you need it or not. But to me, shocking admission coming, they all sound the same.
Right.
Because I don't do reverb. In that, spring reverb.
Yeah.
Get me on spring reverb literally all day. But those kind of DSP reverbs, they just all end up sounding the same to me.
Right.
No?
Well, I think it's like anything. There are differences. I mean, I hear differences between the Strymon and the Boss stuff and the Empress stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. And they're slight, but they're there. Like my favourite, the reverb sound, that sort of reverb sound, the big lush reverb sound, the one that sort of hit me the most was from who make the Maris?
Yeah. Polymoon?
Polymoon, yeah.
Is that the reverb?
Is that the reverb?
Not sure.
Anyway,
not sure.
Those guys, that thing just sounded. It's like proper studio reverb. Absolutely immense.
Yeah.
But they're all they're all amazing. Listen to the reverbs that Rabea uses. They're all the Strymon stuff, and it sounds just epic. So you get to that you want those really huge wall of sound reverbs, and they'll all get you there. But there are, it's like anything, there are differences, and that the Meris reverb thing for me just was like, I was so taken aback by the sound of that thing.
Mm. Because of the fidelity of it?
Yeah, and also the way that it interacts with the amps. I think they were sort of conscious of, I don't know if it was just it's obviously not just an impedance thing, but the way that it just sort of melded into the front of the amp was just so beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but a fidelity thing, like, putting them side by side, they all sound great, but for me, that was the one that, certainly had a factor to it that I really connected with. But I love reverbs. Absolutely love them. And they're important. Like I love spring reverbs. I love small tank reverbs. That's why I was mentioning before how important the reverb is on the RE 201.
Yeah,
because it's that small tank reverb, that really quick spring delay, and the darkness of it. It's so important to that character of that sound. And,
yeah. I think I know what to do with the spring reverb, so it makes sense.
Sure, yeah,
me.
Sure.
Whereas
absolutely.
I just have no idea what to do with one of those huge, other than, if it's something like a Lexicon 480 or whatever, I know how to use that in a studio setting. I know why that will sound good on certain things, but in the context of a guitar sound, yeah, it's not a sound I would ever use, and therefore I guess I've never delved too much. Could we make the show, Dan? Or would we just be there for days going through parameters?
I think we could absolutely make the show, but I think what it would prove is that recorded, it would be really, really tricky to see. But look, let's do it. Let's do it, because if there is, I think the way that we record guitars and everything, if there's any way for it to show on the interweb, then we can do it. If there's a way to show the differences, then yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it then. Andrew Hunt, what are your favourite acoustic strings? Loving the videos. Mine for years and years and years were D'Addario EXP coated, because the coat was really thin. But I've recently, because Dan and I use Kurt Mangan strings for the guitar, they sent me some of their just standard phosphor bronze, and I really like them. In a way that the electric strings have a kind of slightly silkier feel and don't feel like they have as much tension for the same gauge. Acoustic strings are the same, and I'm just wearing them in on the Collings now to the point where they're right at the right point.
Yep.
So yeah, I like them. Do you have any preference then?
No, I gave up on acoustic. As soon as the bipolar bears folded, I put my acoustic guitar in the box and haven't touched it since. I am waiting for my Kincaid guitar to be finished, and when that is, then I'll get into acoustic strings. But I mean, treated phosphor bronze, I think always were actually elixirs.
Yeah.
Only because they lasted the longest.
Yeah. What gauge did you use?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever was cheapest. I can't even remember. Yeah, no, it's been a while. But the elixirs were good, I thought.
Yeah.
We've got a question from Jesse Heine. Says, Dan, I use the Humdinger in my wet dry rig, and I think he's just saying I just plain love it. That's great. Can I use the Humdinger on the ISO side only to close an earth loop while going stereo through a Boss CE5? Thank you, cheers. Absolutely. So if you're going out stereo, out of your stereo pedal, and you've got an earth loop, using anything that isolates that via an audio transformer will close that earth loop. So yeah, that's all good. Got a couple last quick ones here. Manuel Schmalsty says, I just want you to have this. Thank you, Manuel. That's so kind. And Rick Anderson, sending love from Detroit. Will your tape delay show 3 or 4 cover getting good tape delay from a DD500 timeline or the like? I think we've sort of covered that, haven't we?
I think so, yeah. Certainly all the information you need is there. Like when you understand what the constituent parts of a good tape delay sound are, then you can program up your DD500 or timeline to approximate that, or use other pedals in conjunction with it. So Dan and I don't do the thing where we show you a setting and how to adjust the controls, because that's just not really the way we roll, is it?
The timeline has a loop in it so that you can do things like, affect the tonality and put a compressor and a drive and all that stuff in there. So, I think actually that comes after the delay. It's post-delay circuit. But anyway, it's, all the information you got there, should be able to do it. Coolio. Well, there we go. 2 hours, Mick.
Yeah,
it's a new record.
I think so, and I'm sorry we haven't answered all. There's so many questions here, but apologies. We have to cap it off. It's 7 o'clock. I want to go home and get some dinner. Just seeing if there's
I think I've got a visitor outside.
Andy Wood's here. Andy Wood is here apparently. Hello, Andy.
Actually a shout out to Andy. I've been watching Andy's new series Woodshedding. So anyone that wants to pick up some tips from Andy, Zig, come here, puppy.
That's Andy Wood. In case you didn't get
Come here, darling. You want to say hello to everyone? Come on. Right. So here he is. There's a puppy. Hey, darling. Hello.
Can you make him bark, Dan?
No, I can't. He's the quietest dog in the world.
Oh, right. I was wondering if you might be able to get some delay on him or something.
Go and check out Andy's series of Woodshedding. It is fantastic. Andy is such an immense guitar player. I'm getting loads out of it. Yeah, so thank you for doing that, Andy. That's awesome.
Andy Wood. Unbelievable guitar player. Please check him out if you don't know him already. Right, 7 p.m. Daniel, UK time. Thank you to everyone who's been with us this evening.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's I really look forward to these Mondays and get to hang out with you all. Stay safe. We're sending you all lots of love. And yeah. I really want to use that on one of the tracks. It's so good.
I think we've showed the COVID virus the respect that it deserves, Dan, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, people. We'll see you, or I'll see you tomorrow for my recording vlog. On Friday, there's a show about the ways to use the controls on your guitar. We come up with 12,
it's so cool.
12 ideas, 12 ways that you can use the controls on your guitar to increase its tonal palette. And then next Friday...
It will shock you. Number 3 shocked me.
These facts will shock you. Dan. No, we're just going to go. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. See you on this place soon. Stay safe.
Yeah. Cheers,
Stay
guys.
well.
Take it easy.
Here's some girls.